I can tell you, Juan Mata tells Manchester United to make Bruno Fernandes' decision. Bruno Fernandes has been in fine form of late for Manchester United despite Erik ten Hag's side struggling for wins. Juan Mata believes Bruno Fernandes is the perfect player for Manchester United to build the culture of the club around. Fernandes has been impressive in recent weeks, scoring 6 times in his last 5 Premier League outings, helping drag Erik ten Hag's side over the line in a number of matches. While the ability of the Portugal international cannot be questioned, plenty of people have pondered whether the 29-year-old represents a suitable captain figure for the club. Fernandes took over this responsibility from Harry Maguire in July 2023, and Mata is of the view the midfielder's high standards and ability to influence others makes him the perfect candidate. I can tell you that for me, there is a great leader in there right now, which is the captain, Bruno, Mata told ESPN+. I should tell all young players to look up to him. I cannot tell you how important he is for the club, and not only because of what he's done in the last games, scoring 2 goals and winning the game against Sheffield United in midweek, but the consistency within the years that he's been playing for the club is just incredible. He's a top player, but he's even better as a person. So, for me, the culture of the club should be built around him. He's a great example for all the new generation, the players that are playing now for the team, Alejandro, Garnacho, Kobe, Mainu, Rasmus, Højlund, to look up to him the way he trains, the way he behaves. For me, he's the one that is always there for the team. He can play better or worse, but he's always there with the right attitude. And, for me, that's what being a Manchester United player is. Another player who continues to divide opinion is Marcus Rashford, with some supporters believing the forward's time at the club may be up. Offering his take on the situation regarding Rashford, Mata added, "We all know Rashford's potential, and he knows himself how good he can be when he finds this consistency in his mind. And of course if he's not injured, which is happening often with him at the moment. So I think the club knows that they have a great player in there. He's shown it in the past. I think he's motivated also for the Euros and to show his quality to the country, and hopefully he can perform well, because Man United with him at his top level is also a different team. Like when Bruno arrived and he was winning games for us." Bruno Fernandes sends perfect message to Antony after Manchester United drought ends. Antony netted his first Premier League goal of the season, but his finish could not prevent Manchester United from dropping more points in a 1-1 draw against Burnley. Manchester United's Antony ended his Premier League goal drought during Saturday's 1-1 draw against Burnley at Old Trafford. The Brazilian scored his first top-flight goal since a 2-0 win over Nottingham Forest on April 16 last year. However, his second-half finish was not enough to secure all 3 points, with a late Zeki Amdani penalty rescuing a point for the relegation-threatened Clarets. And the winger could not hide his delight after netting at the Stretford end on Saturday. The 24-year-old has referenced his love for United, family and football in an emotional post on social media, with Red Devils captain Bruno Fernandes responding, "Love my family, United and football," he said on Instagram. And Fernandes responded in the comments section with 3 clapping emojis. Antony's goal comes less than a week after he was widely criticised in the aftermath of United's FA Cup semi-final win over Coventry City. The forward was seen cupping his ear to the Sky Blues players moments after Rasmus Højlund netted the winning penalty. The former Ajax star went on to clarify the meaning behind his celebration, claiming in a social media post on Tuesday that he was defending his club after the way United fans were treated by a Coventry player. Ten Hag also claimed that Antony had been provoked. Posting on X, formerly known as Twitter, Antony said, "Coventry proved why they reached the semi-final. We seeked this spot in the final for our fans, and we achieved. The way our fans were treated by their player was not nice, and in the heat of the moment, I've reacted to the provocations in a natural defense of my club." Getafe manager gives update on Mason Greenwood future ahead of Manchester United call. The forward still has more than a year left on his Manchester United contract and sees his current loan spell at Getafe conclude next month. Getafe manager Jose Bordalas says the club have not made a concrete decision about whether they would like to retain Mason Greenwood for next season. Discussions regarding another move for the attacker will commence at the end of the campaign as Greenwood returns to parent club Manchester United, amid reported interest from Atletico Madrid and less so Barcelona. United had previously stated that the 22-year-old would continue his career away from Old Trafford, although new co-owner Sir Jim Ratcliffe left the door open for his return. Greenwood was arrested by Greater Manchester Police, but charges of attempted rape, engaging in controlling and coercive behaviour, and assault were dropped in February 2023. He has always denied the allegations. United concluded their own investigation in August, reaching the verdict that the player would not continue to play for the club. Greenwood, who has recorded 8 goals and 5 assists in 30 Getafe matches, has just over 12 months left on his contract at United. Figures at Getafe have previously hinted at putting together a new deal for Greenwood amid his form in La Liga. However, head coach Bordalas has rode back on the notion that a decision has been finalized. "We haven't spoken about it yet," he told Marca. He's in the same situation as the other loanees. When the season is over, it will be time to get down to work to see if Mason will be able to stay another year or not. It will depend on his club and the decision he makes. Back in February, minority stakeholder Ratcliffe, who is spearheading sporting matters at the club, refused to set his stall out on Greenwood and his future. He said that a process will be conducted to determine the next steps. He said, "It's quite clear we have to make a decision. The process will be to understand the facts, not the hype, and then try to come to a fair decision based on values. Is he a good guy or not, and answer whether could he play sincerely for Manchester United well, and would we be comfortable with it, and would the fans be comfortable with it?" Man United's players ranked from best to worst this season. Manchester United have had a season to forget under Erik ten Hag, and several star players have underperformed for their manager. Manchester United have underperformed this season, with a number of players failing to scale the heights they reached last campaign. United exited the Champions League and Carabao Cup early and are well off the pace in the Premier League, with Champions League qualification effectively out of the question. Marcus Rashford and Casemiro have both been hugely disappointing, but there have been breakout stars like Kobbie Mainoo and Alejandro Garnacho. Manchester United made it into the FA Cup final over the weekend, but still managed to plunge to new lows in their Wembley meeting with Coventry City. The Red Devils needed a penalty shootout to get over the line, having blown a 3-goal lead in regulation time. Coventry were denied a famous victory when Victor Torp's 121st-minute strike was ruled out for the most marginal of offsides, and United went on to win the shootout 4-2, despite Casemiro missing the first spot kick of the shootout. It has been a thoroughly disappointing campaign for United, with very few players doing themselves justice throughout the season. Below, we've ranked ten Hag's players from best to worst this season. The performers: Garnacho and Mainoo have shone while Onana and Maguire bounced back. Kobbie Mainoo has undoubtedly been the breakout star of the campaign for United. Erik ten Hag earmarked the midfielder for a first-team role last summer, but a serious ankle injury sustained in pre-season delayed his arrival on the biggest stage. Mainoo announced himself at senior level with a remarkable full debut against Everton last November and has gone from strength to strength since, with memorable moments against Wolves and Liverpool on the way. Diogo Dalot has been United's most dependable defender, while Andre Onana has recovered from a horror start to his United career to emerge as one of the plus points of the season for the Red Devils. Alejandro Garnacho was in the headlines for the wrong reasons last week, but he has enjoyed a progressive campaign, with 9 goals in all competitions including braces against Aston Villa, West Ham, and Chelsea. Harry Maguire has performed consistently to salvage his reputation after a couple of seasons in which he was the team's scapegoat, while Rasmus Højlund has shown enough potential to suggest he could be a long-term fit at the tip of their attack. Scott McTominay should not be starting regularly for United, but he